Okay, guys, I'm redoing Dimension Practice 3.1. So if you notice the video going, hopefully this is the one that's going to pop back up when you watch it. I made a mistake on the first one. I woke up this morning and I was like, oh no, I overdimensioned this thing. So anyway, I'm going to explain what happened and why. But this is our object here. Again, there's nothing super special on any of the other surfaces. So realistically, this is like a two-dimensional object in a sense. Only making it 3 dimensions is, oh, that right there, the thickness of the 1 inch. So if I remember that, I can drop that in as a note, right? So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead to new, make sure that I grab the template that's appropriate for this. And I'm going to go double click on this guy, bring it over and drop it into the graphics area. And I'll go ahead and put in my isometric drawing here. And this one, that's fine as far as the face. I'm totally good with that. So I don't have to mess with this stuff over here, but I probably do need to rotate this. So let's go ahead and rotate this around. Let's say, I don't know, 270. Let's see what 270 looks like. Yeah, so that's okay, I guess. Yeah, the origin can be down here at the bottom. Like I said, I like to have like a whole edge here, not actually have some of the other stuff up here. So this will work, and the size of this thing is actually pretty good too. So what we're going to do is drag this in here, do a little bit of housekeeping. If this is a 1:2, I'm going to go and change the scale of this, the custom scale. And I'm going to go 1:4 and take a look at what that is. Also putting the shading with edges. Yes, that guy's nice and small. I can still see the part, and I'll put it up in the corner and we can go from there. Now, overall, before I forget that 1 inch thickness here, I'm going to grab the note, drop it down here. Note 1.000 inch thick. Why did I go 1.000? Because everything that we're going to be doing in here, generally speaking for us, okay, is actually going to be using 3 decimal places as far as precision. So with that being said, let's do the other overall. This says 1 inch thick. We're going to smart dimension here. We're going to go this and this and drop this guy in. And then we're going to go this to this. And we're going to put this somewhere in here. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to have to reorganize some things. We got a lot going on in here we got to talk about. Now, generally speaking, the next thing I'm going to do is locate everything. Like, okay, where does this start and stop? And where does this start and stop? And where does this start and stop? But this gets a little bit funny because there's some rules here. Remember, geometry does some things with us, and especially when it comes to arcs and circles. All right, so what do you mean by that, Mr. Waters? No problem. Let's show you. The first thing is I'm going to go ahead. I don't typically do this, but in this case, I'm going to drop in some center marks. Okay, put the holes in here, put the holes here, here, and here. Ooh, look at this immediately. Okay, what do you notice immediately? What you notice is like, look, this right here is literally the arc center is at the intersection over here. Oh, that's important. Why? Well, because if I actually define what this arc is, whatever the radius is going to be the distance between here and here. So if I give you the radius and then I dimension from this line here over to this, I'm going to be over dimensioned. Okay, so that's a problem with this one. This over here, same deal. I got to give the radius of this thing. And so if I actually put a dimension from here over to here, then that's going to be over dimension. All right. So this one's a little bit special character up here. We're going to have to deal with him because we need to make a choice. Hey, do we go ahead and put the start and stop point right here and the start and stop point here and then give the radius and have somebody else do the math? Or do we actually measure the arc center? Either one is okay. Quite frankly, it really comes down to the manufacturing process and what numbers the people are going to use that are going to make this stuff. Okay, that's what it really comes down to in my book. In my book, that's my opinion. Okay, now there are some rules that you probably should follow, but based upon my experiences, then I kind of like the arc center because I actually am going to use that. However, I might actually like those points too, and we're going to show you how to put both without over-dimensioning. All right, so let's get to the next thing. We already know where the arc center is here because it's basically at 0 and 6 inches up from the bottom. Okay, arc center is good. Now this arc center, oh, we don't know where that one is, so let's just drop in this. Let's go here to the edge, okay? And I'm going to drag this up about here, and maybe I'll put it in here. Yeah, I'll put it right there. Okay, so now I know where that is left to right. Now what I need to do is the same thing. Make sure I grab the circle and then go down to the bottom, and we're going to drop that in there. So now that's located. Let's move over to this guy, right? We already know that it's 8 inches over from this edge and 0 inches up from the bottom. So we know exactly where that arc center is. So we're totally good. But this one here, we don't know where the arc center is. We don't know where those edges are. We don't know anything yet. So let's go ahead and we'll start there. Okay, we'll definitely start there. So we have a choice. I prefer actually doing baseline. So from this side here, how far over? Or what we can do is measure from this edge over to the arc center. Either way, okay. This is a cool 8 inches. So if we measure over whatever it's 8 and whatever, then the math is really easy. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to select this arc and I'm going to go over here to this side and I'm going to drop this in. Okay, stagger that up a little bit. And now I know where the arc center is that way, but from the bottom, where is that arc center? And I'm going to go from the bottom here over to this arc and I'm going to measure up. And I'm going to move it out because it's kind of like the tallest dimension here. So everything else will fall in between and won't cross dimension and extension lines. All right, so now I know, oh, okay, this is 898 above this surface and 281 beyond this surface. Okay, so I already know that. So there's my arc center. So basically, I know where the center of all my arcs are. Like I'm totally good. Okay, so we're really good there. I know where the start and stops are with the arcs that actually fall right on those edges because it's dimensioned very well. I don't know where the arc starts and stops are here. And we're going to get back to that later. Now let's go ahead and drop in the radii or the radius dimension. Okay, so we're going to drop that one in pretty there. I don't know if I like where that is. I want that extension line to go a little bit farther. I like that. And I'm going to grab this one here. Now you could do this a couple different ways. Like you can see Solidworks is trying to do it like this. I could maybe get it in here if it'll fit. No, it doesn't look good there. So I'm going to drag this one out and make it look like that. This one here, what does it look like? Can I fit it in? Yeah, I could actually fit it in here. So in order to keep this kind of clean and neat, I'm kind of just put it in here, but I want to make sure that I can see everything pretty well. So this I think works out really well. And it actually just shows right there from the center mark, bam, that's where you're going to go. So I think we're in good shape with that one. Now, that's pretty much almost done. Other than the size, oh yeah, hole call out. Let's grab this hole call out right here. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to bring it right over. I don't have a preference here. Maybe I drop it right here. I got plenty of room down this way. I might have to adjust some things. Maybe it doesn't go there, but I want to leave some room because there is something else that I wanted to mention. So I already talked to you about some of this stuff. So first of all, let's go. Overall is there. Overall. So 8 by 6 by 1. The location, I know exactly where the arc center is here. I know where the arc center is here. I know where the arc center is here. I know where the circle center is here. The size, I know what the radius, and the hole call out over here. So technically we're done, okay? You have all the information that you need. Now, what I did talk about is like, hey, I might want to know where this starts and stops because I can't really know because as this arc goes around, it's actually going to be at a different spot. So where it starts and stops right here is actually pretty darn helpful to me as somebody that would make that part. How would we do that if we wanted to convey that information to the reader? Well, here's how you do it. You go over here to Smart Dimension. I'm going to go from the bottom. I said the bottom. And I'm going to go to this point. So what I'm going to do is go right to that point as soon as that point lights up. And I'm going to drop a dimension right about there. Now, when I drop that dimension there, over here, my dialog box kind of thing is open. I'm going to hit this, which is reference dimension. Bam, it comes up with parentheses. That means like, hey, it's not for manufacturer, but you can just know this. So you don't have to bust out your calculator and do all the math and stuff like that to figure out where that point would start and stop. That is the way to get it kind of sort of around over dimensioning. You don't want to just over dimension stuff and throw parentheses on it and say, hey, they got everything that they need. Not a smart thing to do. But in this particular case, like I said, the math is going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt to do on the fly to figure out where that starts and stops on this part. But because I know where the arc center is, I could do the math to get there. So then it would be over dimensioned. So at least I know where that is. Okay, so that's the important thing up there. And of course, I know where the other side of it is. I know it's 8 inches over from the edge. Now, what would it look like the other way? Well, exactly the same way. So let's do it, right? Let's go and blow up on this and wait for that little orange point. We're going to select that point so it knows it's going to go to right that point and then that whole side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drop this dimension in and then go immediately over here to our left and make sure that we make that a reference dimension. And click off the dimensions there. Oh, look, SolidWorks is hooking me up. They're trying to organize some of these dimensions for me. That's pretty cool. I want to make sure that I have some even amount in between here, here, and here. These aren't stacked. These are staggered. Same thing over here. It looks like I have plenty of room. This looks okay. I guess I'm okay with putting it inside of here. I'm not a big fan. I would like it somewhere else, but anywhere else I drag it, it's going to end up doing some funny stuff with me. But look, if I want to stack these letters, I can just select this, go down here. This is model diameter HW right here. Maybe I do this. Break the partition link with the model. No, I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm not going to modify that because it's just messed up. And look, I got plenty of room here, so I'm just going to leave well enough alone. I have plenty of room. It's clean and it's neat. I can actually drag this in to make it a little bit tighter. Not that I want to not use the space, but it's just like I actually want to make sure that it's somewhat even. The other thing that I'm doing here is I'm kind of dragging this down. Notice that I got this center mark that's going up out of the border. If there's a way to select this and actually drag it in, go for it. Mine is not letting me drag it in, but I don't want to get down here into my block either. So this is all clean and neat. I literally have, again, overall, I've located all the centers. I've even located some other stuff with some reference dimensions here. And then I've also given the sizes for all of these things. So that wraps that up. Again, I over dimensioned it the first time. This time right here, this I think is going to be a clean, very good workable drawing. All right. So don't forget to go back in here, fill out all the information that we talked about. You know, I want the 5,000s plus or minus, the stock size, you can figure that out. Material, put in steel, doesn't matter to me. Make sure you put your name and your date on there, and then of course save, and then save as a PDF, and then go ahead and put it into your assignment.